Hey ho, Wendy Sue, Fountain Pen News. Very inky hands today. I've been messing around with nibs and putting them in different pens with different feeds. And so I thought I'd show what I'm doing on this one. So this is a Pilot Custom Heritage 912 with an FA nib. And it's a great nib, and this has a really wet ink in it, but I ordered from Flexible Nib Factory. I'll tag all of this, down there, that thing. And so what I got is the ebonite feed. I think I got 3 slit on this bad boy for the 912. And so I was going to show, ooh, that reminds me, I forgot something. Please hold. Okay, back. So I wanted to show these 2 feeds so you can kind of see the difference, hopefully, so that you understand why you would want an ebonite feed versus the plastic feed that comes with the pen. And I'm trying to look in the viewfinder to see if you're seeing what I'm seeing. So if you look at the one on the left is the stock feed that comes with it, and it has a very narrow channel cut in there. And if you look on the one on the right, if you want to zoom in, you can. It has 3 slits and a much wider channel. So it's going to let that ink come down through the feed and feed that flexible nib in a way that it's going to let that ink come down without railroading and causing problems with your flexing. So what my plan is here is to take the nib out of the 912 and put it into this beautiful Franklin Christoph something. This is a Model 3, and I think it's a 3 modified because it doesn't have a clip. I don't know. But this is in the Italian ice resin, and so you can kind of see it's glowing purple a little bit. It's because I'm outside and there's UV outside, and so it's kind of cool. But this is what we call a hot swap, ladies and gentlemen. So this could be a total bloody disaster of a mess. So get excited. So what I'm going to do is take out this nib out of here and put it in here. But I also have to pull this nib out of here, and this has ink in it also. So this is going to be kind of a delicate operation. So watch me fumble, everybody. So I'm going to take out my ink cartridge, which is empty, by the way, because I've used it all recently. It had the wet pen Elliott Bay in it from Matthew. That's so awesome. And let me grab I have 2 things here to pull the nib and feed. And so one of them is just a paper towel. So hopefully I can just pull it out with a paper towel. But if I can't, then I will use my little, what do you guys call these in your house? We call them rubber husbands here. So I have that also. But the other thing you can do is screw the body back onto the section, and then it gives you a little bit more leverage to pull out that nib and feed. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap around the shoulders of the nib on the back of the nib, as opposed to going like this and grabbing the nib and feed. I'm going to grab from the sides and just pull it out. So that's all it took to take that out of there. So it's out. Yay, it worked. It worked. All right, so now I'm just going to clean this up a little bit so that I don't look like a total inky disaster. I mean, I already do, but Oh, there goes that. Okay, bye. So then I'm just going to take the nib off of this stock feed there, like that, and set this to the side somewheres. And then I'll just wipe off this nib so that I'm not putting a blue nib into a pink inked pen. Okay, so here's my nib and my ebonite feed. And so I will just put these 2 together, and it makes it pretty obvious the way they go together. It kind of clicks on there like that. Like I don't even have to hold it. It kind of stays on there. I do just make sure that it's aligned, that the tines are aligned and it's not off to the side somewhere, and then I knocked it off. But, that's one thing that I do check to make sure that it's not twisted to the side. You can heat seat. That doesn't sound right, but I think that is right. Heat set is what I'm going for. My husband's out here laughing at me. You can heat set the ebonite feed I usually do it after I've got it in the housing, and then I, put it in the, what am I trying to say? And then once it's in the pen, then I'll do the heat set. So then I'm going to put it into this housing. This is a housing that takes the Pilot 912 nib and puts it into a jowo collar so that I can put this into that jowo Franklin Christoph pen. Okay, so I got it so that it's sort of in there and it feels like it's going to go in. So I'm going to take on the end here and just push it in. And that's all it takes. So there's that in there. It looks great. I'll probably heat set it later, but right now I'm going to take this nib out with my paper towel. This just unscrews as well. This is a broad sig, baby. Gotta love a broad sig. I don't know if this one is Audrey or I have a Jim Rouse broad sig, so I'm not sure whose is whose. Someday I'm going to meet with Audrey and see if she can tell. If she can look at it and tell if she ground it or not. So then I take my completed nib and feed and just put it in there and screw it in. And then hopefully this ink will come down into this feed and we will be all set. So I'm going to let that happen and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I got a little bit impatient and I shook the pen, and so now the ink is flowing and I have more ink on my hands, but you know, what are we going to do? I'm going to turn my book and I'm going to zoom in so that you can see a little better, hopefully. This is Pilot, ooh yeah, 912 FA. I'm going to move my fingers out of the way so maybe you can see. Oh, hello. Out of frame, Grover. All right, so there's that. And then usually what I do to test these kind of flex nibs is I'll do thin lines to thick lines, just adding pressure as I go, just to see how fast I can go. Since this is freshly, has ink in the feed, I'm not too worried about this railroading. I think it'll resolve. And I will heat set this. So when I heat set it, I just get my sink water as hot as it'll go. And then I just run this under there and press the nib and feed together. I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but that's the way I've done it and I've had success with it. So then I will just do some little blueby guys here. Come on, stop it. There we go. Now we're flowing, I think. So that ink is just really coming down those 3 channels really fast. I mean, this is faster than you would probably write. Let's try this other exercise again and just see how it fits a little better. Yeah, I mean, I'm pressing pretty significantly and I'm going really fast and it's letting me do it. So anyway, that is today's video. We're talking about swapping nibs and getting ink all over your hands. But now that looks super cool with that FA nib in there and it's all eyedroppered with a really beautiful ink. And that's it. If you have any questions, drop them in the thingy and I will answer them. Please like and subscribe and tell your friends that we're doing crazy things over here. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye. Oh, pen news.